that knowledge and all those books and the babbling and all this knowledge that supposedly you have to deny me? You read all of these things to create a box of your own make. I would never fit in your box, brother. Never. But this Mr. Sifter, Mullah Jafar, he was a simple guy, didn't know this thing. Therefore, he was humble. This knowledge was not heavy on his head to feel, oh, I know a lot. He always said, I don't know nothing. What would I know? I'm just a sifter of the, wheat, the farm, separating the husk from the wheat. That was his job. He became a believer and he martyred. Therefore, the truly understanding is a shortcut. Shortcut from those informations, then you reach to Baha'ullah. Of course, this is the first shortcut to reach to Baha'ullah. Now, once you become a Baha'i, in this situation that we have, again, you have to go to the understanding. Rather, you can enjoy, have a spiritual sex with writing of Baha'u'llah. It's so pleasurable. I can be thousands of hours spending on them trying to what he says here, what he says. It's like a jigsaw puzzle for me. I think it's the best entertainment once you learn how to play. Especially writing of the Bab. I think that becomes the biggest entertainment for a lot of people in the future to know what did he say. No problem. But if you want to finish this school, once you get admitted in this school of Baha'ullah, Baha'i faith, if you want to get graduated, you gotta stop not acting. A stagnation, a lethargy. You have to start to act. Act, number one, immediately, division is there. Shoghi Effendi. Some of the Baha'is are followers, some of them are teachers. Get out of the followers, go to the group of teachers. He says, I wish all the Baha'is become teachers. What do? Get the book. Go on outside. Whomever you find, God finds you. Go there, teach Baha'i faith. When you do, then you understand it, because there's a pleasure comes in there. My God, you know nothing. But people listen to you, you got a spirit and you have a connection. There you go. I remember Prudence, the girl who became Baha'i in Thunder Bay. She was talking about Baha'i faith and was trying to teach it. And she was saying, the Bab fell in the Siachal. Trying to tell her that it's the Baha'ullah that went to Siachal, it's a black dungeon, that they throw Baha'ullah in there. It wasn't the Bab, but she would just say Bab. Big deal. He's informed. I do a lot of that on this video. Lots of mistakes, I know. Grammatical mistakes, displacing words sometimes, misspoken. So, but the fellow became Baha'i anyways by her teaching. It wasn't that matter that one word was displaced or, she was mixing between Bab and Baha'u'llah a little bit. Nothing. That's not the case. That's why Shoghi Effendi Abdul Baha says we don't need a lot of philosophers. We need teachers. Those who go and actually teach the Baha'i faith. So as soon as you start, join from the followers into the teacher, you have gained a higher level of understanding. Now if you go on to the point that you make this teaching becomes a 24 hours business of yours alongside of your living and your working and whatever you're doing. It becomes integrated, intertwined. You are all the time a Baha'i teaching. Pardon my English, even when you're in the toilet you're thinking, in the bed you're thinking. You're installing Safed Fascia, you're teaching your helper about Baha'i faith. It's 24 hours things for you. Then you go to a different level of understanding. Once you do that, you jump up again. Now you start having visions when you start to teach. God actually hire you. First, with the case of God, employment with God is that after you become a Baha'i admission, if you turn from followers into teachers, you're admitted already. But once a new Baha'i comes by you into the Baha'i faith, don't try to get a signature from them. If you want to know the person you've taught is a Baha'i or not, he has to go and teach just like you. If he did, you have a Baha'i. If not, forget it, you haven't. You overwhelmed him, whatever. You were over enthusiastic and you just got a signature from him, and after he signed as a Baha'i, he goes home. That's not good. He has to start to teach as well. If he did, you've done the job. At that time, then you have a dream. You have vision. You see Abdul Baha. You see Bob. You really get out of the womb of the universe. You go from the outside and look at it and say, my God, everything is, BS. What mortgage, what government, what wealth. Nothing is real. Everything is inside the womb. The whole universe is nothing but its womb. When you die, you have infinite volume. The entire universe, which is material, is a spiritual from outside when you go. Outside, inside the spiritual being is material. Inside your mother is all blood. You're drinking blood. You never knew she has lips and eyes and ears and can, smile at you. As soon as you die out of your mother, she gets you in her bosom. Same thing. When you die out of this universe, you see the whole mother universe. You haven't even seen it. All you've seen is the belly, because it's round everywhere, She's from outside. That's your mother, and Baha'ullah is your father. Then the whole thing becomes like crazy. My God, how do we get out of this oblivion? I remember that movie Total Recall of that Arnold Schwarzenegger when I watched it one day. I said, watch that movie. There's a point in it. You thought you were this. But when in a scene you start the computer told him, you're not you. You're somebody else. You're me. And I'm not you. I programmed myself to become you. If you have that total recall, then you know who you are, where you're coming from. So, understanding, when it comes to understanding in a Baha'i faith, there are many, many, many heroes. Thousands of them. Which one do I take tonight to talk about? Let's talk about Tahira, the only woman in the Baha'i faith that she becomes into the rank of the official disciples of the Bab. It was like an imam. She's in charge when Bab is not around. That's what a letter of the living, that's what she was. The only woman in Iran. You've seen the Afghanistan, how the women are covered. I mean, Iran was thousands times worse than that. You can't even hear the real voice. They have to put something in under the tongue when they talk. It's not the real voice. In that environment, a woman who's married to a man with a couple of children, what is she going to do? The first thing she did, she became the most learned of all the Babis. After the Bab, I can almost say there was no one to match her understanding, her knowledge of the faith. We have very few writings left from her. They burned it all, but even those that are there, it just shows in what kind of a space, celestial space of understanding she was flying. No man can match him at all. No one could match her. So, unlike anybody else, look at the level of understanding. In the Baha'i faith, when Bab begins, the first 19 letters of the living, they had to find the Bab, the promised one, the Jesus of return of Jesus, on their own with no help. That's very hard. of all the people on the planet, you're on your own. Nobody can teach you. The first one was Mullah Hussein. When he came, the power of God, as Baha'u'llah said, guided him to the Bab, and he understood, realized. Bab told him, don't talk to nobody about it. Not yet. But there are people coming here. Don't talk to them that you have seen me. So others, when they find him in Shiraz, they saw his change. They told him, something is going on. You must have found the promised one. And he would say that you're on your own, brothers. I can't teach you on that. So finally, these people, they come in. One of them is Qudus. We can refer to his understanding. Was the youngest one. They said, as he was talking to others, from the back, he said, that must be the promised one. There can't be anybody. From behind, he recognized the Bab to be the one. That was Qudus, and others, they had to see Bab. He from the back, as if he knew him, But Tahira had a different measure yet. She had never seen Bab. She sent a letter to one of her relatives. She says to him, you're going to see the Bab. When you saw him, give this letter to him. It's a poetry that it says in it, I'm not going to translate it even, I'm going to attempt to translate it, but it says your beauty, it's all over, engulfed the entire universe. Why can't you say you are the one? He's in a way ordering the Bab. Why can't you say you are the one? I see your light here. So she is the only one who had not seen the Bab physically, but recognized him. Most amazing. And now you're a woman in Iran. You gotta study to know how difficult it is. Your movement, and your husband is so much against you. They want to destroy you. He divorces you. Your father says, oh, I wish this Tahira was a woman, was a man. So bad that she's a woman, All the knowledge she had. The entire people in Iran, they would call her like a doctor of the faith, to a rank, let me, tell you, for example, to the rank of Ayatollah Khomeini, like the supreme leader. She had that much knowledge. They use the word mujtahid. She would be a mujtahideh. That means the person who's a certified doctor of faith. That much she had knowledge in Islam. And when entered into the faith of God, all alone, she arranges to help the cause of God in Karbala, in other places. That she was called apple of the eye by the one before the Bab. The Bab had a forerunner before called her apple of the eye. The name remained. Bab used the same thing. So was Baha'ullah. Qurratul Ayn means the apple of the eye. Dearest Tahira. A sense of purity. In the Islam, it is written that at the day of resurrection, the Fatima, Islam has a holy lady called Fatima, which is actually, ironically, the name of the Holy Mary. The Holy Mary of Islam is called Fatima, the daughter of Prophet Muhammad. That she would appear in the day of resurrection.